If you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. GMS fam, the green room. It is Monday. Welcome back to the show, man. We are here to have another splendiferous week, man. I am happy to see y'all here in the chat so far. Shout out to motherfucking Defiant, Glow, Wonderman, Ty Ward, CDT Beats is in the building. GMS fam, check in. Let me know you in here, man, so we can get today's show started. We got a lot of topics to talk about. But you know we have to talk about the main topic that everybody's trying to fucking get on social media and keep a trending topic all week because we know how they treat black men in America. And I'm here to tell you, really explain to you thoroughly where I stand on this Kyrie situation and where I feel us as black people should stand on this Kyrie Irving situation. See, hold on. You know, we start every show with peace, love, positive energy, good vibes, passing it forward, hoping that you pass it along as well, keeping that green mind state. What's up, Sanaa? What up, Brielle? How you feeling? Prince Young in the building. Southern California in the building. Roll something up. I see you, King Lukey. Now, I feel like there's been a lot of deep-rooted planted seeds in our brains as black people in America, to the point where we don't even notice when we're being used and abused for a certain agenda because it's being put in front of everybody that it's for a different purpose when it's really not. See, I almost got lost in the sauce when this first happened, thinking about the religious side of it and like, yo, don't tell people about their origins of religion and all this other shit, man. Why are people even paying attention to that type of shit when we can't even go back to confirm this shit ourselves? We all reading the same books and getting the same info off the internet and from books and from documentaries and shit, man. Why the fuck are people arguing about shit like that? But I had to stop and look at what was happening. I had to compare and contrast from what the hell has been going on and why is it certain people only being pinpointed and being focused on during this entire debacle, if you will. See, black men get punished more harshly and more viciously than any other community in this country. So let me be very clear. It's not whether or not I feel Kyrie is right or wrong for what he posted and what he says and what he stands for. It's the fact that I'm black first. And some people may look at that as crazy, but guess what? The same people you defending do the same exact thinking I do when it comes to their own community. Because they don't give a fuck who's right and wrong on that side. They're going to have their people's back, and they're going to make sure that they come out on a better side in any situation. When I talk about comparing and contrast, I'm gonna bring up a couple instances. You know, some people, you know, there's certain things that people try to combat what's happening, you know, when people bring up a race issue, they try to combat it with certain shit. Well, you know, so-and-so was fired and they had to sell their team and this person had to do that. And I'm reading these comments. I go down Twitter all the time, man. I'm seeing how people respond to shit. And somebody brought up Donald Sterling, like, well, Donald Sterling had to sell his team. Okay, first of all, let's just get to the 6 requirements that they said Kyrie has to do. Look at this shit. First of all, Kyrie, I don't know if this is confirmed or not. Can somebody help me confirm this? I saw it yesterday, but I couldn't confirm it. I didn't see any other news outlet talking about this besides seeing this post. It's saying that Kyrie Irving has informed the Nets he plans to retire. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, hey man, more power to you. Do what you got to do. If you don't feel like you are being appreciated, you don't feel like the hard work that you put in is worth anything, in this instance, do what you got to do. But the 6 requirements here, it says sources, Nets have delivered Kyrie Irving 6 items he must complete to return to the team. Number 1, apologize and condemn the movie. Now, everybody knows that Kyrie went to his Instagram and he issued an apology. Now, the reason why I feel like that is enough and it's justified is because him tweeting the documentary without watching it and knowing about certain things he disagreed with before even posting it, all right, take accountability for it. So fucking what? But black men aren't allowed to make mistakes. We get crucified and we get made to have to fall in line and get buck broken and get people to make us do the shit that they want us to do so they could feel good about some shit and they can hold on to some type of control over us. It's not about trying to make an entire community feel okay and feel special. It's about the fact that they need to remind us that they can whip us back in place anytime that they want. You see these requirements, right? Apologize, condemn the movie, $500K donation to anti-hate causes. That's not just one organization. That's spread across many organizations. Sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL Jewish leaders, meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding. What a coincidence. Their owner is an Asian guy. Stop Asian hate, right? The guy who allegedly was funding genocide, but we'll get to that later. We don't even talk about that. But just look at these 6 requirements and ask yourself, how many of these 6 requirements did Donald Sterling have to do? Did the Suns owner have to do after he was fired? As a matter of fact, he wasn't even forced to sell his team like Donald. They gave him the choice. Ask yourself that question. Did anybody have to deal with going through these 6 steps? Because I see a lot of people talking about his job and because he's an employee. This isn't about him being an employee. This isn't about him doing what's right so he could be able to play on a team. This is a control issue. This is exactly what some people have been talking about. And if you don't see it, I'm sorry, there's no way I can convince you. But see, the fucked up part about this is people talk about dangerous rhetoric, right? Like when the link was tweeted and when Kanye said the things that he said and he tweeted what he tweeted, the one thing I kept hearing the most is about dangerous rhetoric and what that is towards Jewish people and what it means for and what it means when it comes to it being dangerous or it being harmful rhetoric or a harmful narrative, things that happened in the past that helped spark the Holocaust. And I just thought about something too early. I was like, all right, you guys talk about the harmful rhetoric. You talk about what's dangerous. For 4 solid years, we had a president in office. Now, this is regardless of if you agree with the things he did or didn't do, or if you don't think he's racist, or if you think he's racist, that whatever the fuck. If we want to talk about dangerous rhetoric, right? And if we're basing dangerous rhetoric off of the things that have been said recently by Kanye, by Kyrie, by whoever, where were y'all motherfuckers the whole 4 years black people was yelling and shouting about the shit that Donald Trump was saying in office and in press releases and fucking in rallies and shit like that? What were we getting? We were getting the y'all being too sensitive. Oh, y'all reading into it wrong. Oh, how is that racist? Oh, black people kill black people. So why should we give a fuck about what you want or what your needs are or what your concerns are or what's harmful rhetoric towards you and your people? Why should we care when we have every excuse in the world to combat that? For 4 years straight, y'all did that to us. Am I right or am I wrong? Whether it was Trump or people that supported him who had influence, whether it was bringing other black faces in to try to confirm or to try to reinforce stereotypes or reinforce narratives and rhetoric so that other white people can use those black voices and black faces to say, ha, see, we're right. That was used again. Imagine. Yo, imagine if black people just started grabbing random Jewish people and start saying, yeah, look, man, even though we were raised Jewish, look, that don't matter. We know that the original Jews of this world are black people, and just start saying a whole bunch of random shit to help support the narrative of what niggas is saying. Do you think they'd be welcome with open arms? Do you think that their social media platforms will flourish? Do you think that they'd be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, meet and greets and all types of shit? No. It only happens with us because people take us as a fucking joke. Where is Jeff Bezos when it comes to these 6 steps? I haven't seen Jeff Bezos apologize or condemn the movie. You know what I seen him do? I seen him raise the goddamn price. I seen that shit go from $3 to $12 to rent. I seen that motherfucker go from $20 to $50 to buy. That's what I saw. Did he donate money to anti-hate causes? No, he got money off an anti-Semitic film. That's what y'all calling it. That's what they calling it. That's what the people are so mad about of this Hebrews and Negroes documentary. That's what the fuck they so mad about. Hey, here's this documentary that we are housing, that we put on our platform, that we don't have to apologize for, condemn, or have to donate money for, or have to go to sensitivity training, go to anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL Jewish leaders, and meet with the goddamn owner of the Nets. We have to do none of that shit. And then you bring this point up to people and they skip over. Well, yeah, they should be condemned too, but what? But what? Tweeting the link is worse than somebody having the actual documentary up, and then after finding out how controversial and how messed up in their eyes that the documentary is, you up the price. That's not fucked up to you? Whether I agree with the documentary or not myself, I find it to be fucked up that is what the immediate response was from Amazon and Jeff Bezos. Hey, here is somebody who is catching hell, who is in the brink of losing his job, his career, the shit that he actually worked super fucking hard for his whole life to be one of the best of in his position, in his craft, in his profession, striving to win championships, striving to win games, striving to be an elite professional basketball player. And all of that is being threatened to be taken away from him because of what Jeff Bezos allowed on his platform and upped the price of. I don't know, man. I don't know. I could guarantee right now there's quite a few Jewish people ordering off Amazon as we speak. I'm just saying. Hey man, that's educational or that's a educational guess. My educated guess is that there are several Jewish people ordering off Amazon right now. And while on the other hand, burning Kyrie Irving shoes and jerseys and shit. Oh my Lanta. Listen, man. None of these owners that have been fired by the NBA for saying racial shit, who have said the N-word, who have talked about not wanting to be around black people, clearly showing that they have a dislike for black people unless they are making the money and doing what they're told, had to do none of these requirements besides, I don't know, maybe apologize, and even in the apology, probably only put out a statement, didn't have to actually go in a fucking press conference or go on some type of tour, apology tour on media networks to try to save face with a community, because they don't give a damn about us. And we are supposed to sit here as a people and fall in line with it. I'm not surprised, but I'm also sitting here like, man, the people we supposed to be upholding out here. Just a few years ago, motherfuckers was out here trying to be righteous and trying to be social justice warriors and putting Black Lives Matter sayings on their goddamn jerseys, and now they sit up here acting like, oh man, we can't move black first. We can't stand behind our brother, even if, this is the fucked up part, man. Here's the question that I have. Because people are even using the excuse of, why wouldn't they speak out against Kyrie? He's doing something wrong. You would want your brother to speak up and to check you when you wrong. That's where we fail as a community. You talking about the wrong speaking up, my brother. See, when black men are actively trying to kill other black men, that's when you speak up. When black babies are being killed by stray bullets for no goddamn reason, that's when you speak up. When black people are being done wrong in the public eye, when you have a public lynching going on, that's when you speak up in favor, not in distaste, not in disrespect, not to defend the side that's trying to control you and trying to make you or trying to tap you on your ass to put you in place. Then you sitting here with a 42 hat on. Jackie Robinson wouldn't fuck with this. Them white people was spitting in Jackie's face. Some of them may have been Jewish. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure Jackie would know a public lynching when he's seen one. And I'm sure Jackie Robinson wouldn't be so quick to go against his own. Here's what LeBron had to say, if you can hear it.
I can tell you this. It's simple. Me personally, I don't condone any hate to any kind, to any race, to Jewish communities, to black communities, to Asian communities. You guys know where I stand, and it's part of the reason why I didn't air the shop episode, why we kicked that, out of the archives, because it was hate conversation going on there, and I don't represent that. There's no place in this world for it. Nobody can benefit from that, and I believe what Kyrie did caused some harm to a lot of people. since over the last, I think today or was it yesterday? He apologized. But he caused some harm, and I think it's unfortunate. But I don't stand on the position to harm people when it comes to your voice or your platform, and so it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how tall you are, what position you are in. If you are promoting or soliciting or saying harmful things to any community that harm people, then I don't respect it.
He doesn't respect it. See, it doesn't matter what color you are, what position you're in. Oh, but LeBron, it does, because just a few years ago, some wrinkled, nasty, dog-in-the-face ass looking wench was telling you to shut up and dribble. Am I wrong or am I right? Kick the music, goddammit. LeBron, it will be helpful to know what was hateful that was said by Kyrie. I want to know what Kyrie said that was hateful. I want to know. What did Kyrie say that was hateful? What did he say? Anybody, help me out. And be realistic too, because I can tell you right now that if somebody said something hateful, I can literally admit to that and bring light to that and say where a person is wrong. But somebody please enlighten me where Kyrie said something that was hateful. To my knowledge, he tweeted something. To my knowledge, he tweeted something. I don't remember Kyrie saying anything hateful. There is my exact example as to how they use our own against us. We can talk about the commentators, whatever. That's their job. They supposed to do that. The Chucks and the Shaqs and the retired NBA players who got to sit up there and continue to make bread because they fucked it off on hoes and gambling have to sit up there and talk about what's going on in the sports world. I'm not worried about them. Call them coons, whatever the fuck you want to do. That's their job. But other NBA players, they have the choice to say something or not say something. And if you are one of the NBA players that went out of your way to say something regarding Kyrie in a negative way, you are a bitch. No matter who you are, you can be the king of the fucking game. It don't fucking matter. Choose to say no comment. Whether you feel he's right or wrong, choose to say no comment. Back the fuck away from the situation. You are being used. You are being used. This goes back to my point earlier about hateful rhetoric and certain things that was said during the tenure, during the 4-year run of Donald Trump. You see, they want us to speak up for them so bad. They want to use our notable figures, our NBA players, our entertainers, the people that who are seen on a daily basis by society. They want to use them to help push their narratives. But when it was Trump in office, and when he was saying random shit, and when his supporters were saying random shit, and these random motherfuckers on the street was going out here putting these black and blue flags on their cars, putting all lives matters on their car, putting back the blue on their cars, and putting all types of shit in their yards to combat Black Lives Matter, you motherfuckers wasn't saying shit. I ain't seen that one curly sideburn, not one little hat. And I love bro, see, that's the fucked up part, man. See, when you talk about this shit with passion, people think you talking with hate. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love them. I'm not talking to y'all. There are people out here in positions of power that want to continue to stay there and flex that power. I'm talking to them, and I'm talking to the people who stand behind that shit. And I'm talking to the people who are allowing themselves to be used by that shit. We're not in their world. See, us regular folks down here, even the regular folks who are Jewish down here, they don't play no part in what's happening in the higher up section of life. So I'm not talking to y'all. They don't give a fuck about y'all either. If you not down with the program, you gotta understand, man, there's people out here that want to showcase that power, who want to keep people stagnant, who want to keep us in a place of and I can't even use the word slavery, but it's just keeping us in that mindset, in that buck broken mindset, to the point where we ain't got to be told to go out there and speak against our own. We just do it because that's what the fuck we've been taught. That's what the fuck we've been used to doing. I can't stand behind it no more, man. I don't stand with it. I don't stand behind it. Like I said, whether Kyrie is right or wrong, please understand that there's a system going on. It's not about right or wrong. It's about standing behind your tribe, standing behind your people, making sure that you remember you're black first. We can't feel ashamed or feel wrong for it. That's another fucked up part. Some people feel wrong or ashamed to even say some shit like that. And regarding the documentary, man, I gotta say, first of all, I'm not paying to see that. Anybody, and I'm sorry to say, anybody that is paid to see that documentary now has the only thing that you've done is help Bezos profit even more. You just added to his billions. That's all you did. You added to his billions. His multi-billions is what you added to. I'm not finna add to those multi-billions. I'll wait till it's free on YouTube or some shit. But from what I'm hearing from people that have watched the documentary, there are things in there that they agree with, and there are certain things in there where they're like, oh yeah, that's a little too far. Now, until I see it for myself, I can gauge what I feel is too far and what's crazy and what's right and what's wrong, in my opinion. But I want to be able to see it and have my own review of it and my own take, my own opinion from it without having to see anyone else's, because that's pretty much what our society has turned into. A lot of people that don't do their own research, they kind of wait for other people to do research, hear what they said, and then, use what other people said as their own opinion or their own take on what they saw or what they heard. I'd rather see it for myself, hear the points that I agree with, hear the points I don't agree with, and move forward. For it to have gone like this lets me know that there's an agenda afoot. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about trying to correct some shit. They're doing this for a reason. They're doing this for a reason, and I hope Kyrie doesn't put up with it any longer. If he wants to retire. Do what you got to do, man. Go on your journey, go on your path that you've been trying to go on, and live your best life, man. This media shit, people trying to crucify you in the media, in the court of public opinion, it's not a lifestyle, man. It's a way to try to destroy people. It's a way to try to make people go crazy. And that's the last thing I want for somebody who is trying to figure out self and trying to understand himself and understand his heritage, understand his history, understand where he came from. Imagine you got somebody here trying to learn, somebody who is out here trying to actively get information, speaking on the shit that they learning, speaking on certain things that they see and they read, and people are attacking them for it, when he's not even leading with hate. He's not coming out here talking about how Jewish people are bad. He's not out here spreading any type of hate that they're trying to paint in the media. What hate? Oh, are you saying it's hate because he didn't apologize when you told him to? Are you saying it's hate because he's trying to explain to you where he's coming from before doing what you're telling him to do? Where did the hate come from? What hate speech was he using? He's hateful because he can't come to the conclusion that he's wrong. He can't admit when he's wrong, so that's hate. Where did the hate speech come from? Where did what Kyrie did is sparking Jewish hate from? See, what sparks a lot of this shit is when you put a magnifying glass on bullshit perspectives. You put a magnifying glass on bullshit perspectives and people are going to run with the narrative. Especially with all the brainless people you have on the internet who think that their opinion is fact because they got 100 people or 1,000 people that liked a tweet from them. There's no real common sense out here no more. And I'm watching the crumble of our society because it's gotten so deep to the point where we're going against each other. And that's exactly what they want. That is exactly 100% what they want. You know, this brings me back to the time when they didn't want black people to read. Think about that. They actively kept slaves away from reading or trying to get any type of education. They didn't want black people to be educated. Black people being educated would spark a different type of revolution. Not the type of emotional, erratic revolution where niggas go around breaking and burning shit and tearing shit down, but knowing that they have enough power to become a super entity to where we will be unstoppable instead of having all our resources, all our powers drained by other communities. Come on, man. Y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me out there? Back when they were telling us that we couldn't read and that they didn't want us to be educated, do you think they want niggas to be learning about their origins? Do you especially niggas being vocal about their origins and trying to teach other black people about their origins? Regardless of what you believe in. See, here's the thing with me. I'm not in this fight, or I'm not in this argument or this debate to talk about religion. I'm here on behalf of giving a fuck about black people and the things that we go through unfairly in this country time and time again, and what we have to sit back and just take because they said so. If people cared about morals so fucking much, we wouldn't be dealing with all this racial bullshit that's going on in the country. If people cared about morals so much, we wouldn't be dealing with so many goddamn mass shootings every motherfucking week, every month. If people cared about morals, the motherfuckers in office would actually be doing something for the people instead of for themselves. The fuck y'all worried about niggas being right and wrong for? There's no moral high ground in this country. It's only tribes. It's only these people, that people. Who will prevail? I'm getting it now. I'm understanding how this shit works. They don't give a fuck about morals. They don't give a fuck about whether you're right or wrong. They give a fuck about a display of power. And whether or not they can confirm or reassure that they run shit. Base level motherfuckers will think I'm talking about Jewish people. Motherfuckers who are smart with common sense know I'm talking about anybody in power who don't look like us. And they expect hundreds of years of being conditioned and being programmed. It's going to just disperse in our brains or in our mental after time goes on, while still actively engaging in practices from 50, 100, 150, 200 years ago and so forth. It doesn't have to be in a physical form. See, the mind is powerful. And if you get to the minds first, you can control whatever people do. It is no coincidence. Do you think that we as a black people had the say or had a roundtable discussion to agree on what is to be put on these, put in the culture, what is to be put in front of people as a whole, as a society, to represent us? Do you think that was a conversation that we were involved in? Do you think that there was any thought into us as an entire community before record labels, before these big corporations ever put dollars into pushing a certain stereotype or pushing a certain type of narrative into our culture? Do you think that that was a conversation that had anything to do with us, that we had a say in any of that? It's always been crazy to me that the control of what people are able to hear and what people are fed in this society is somehow lost in translation when it comes to our community. Any other community, it's like certain shit that they let be pushed to certain communities. It's us that they don't give a shit about. If y'all don't think record labels have the power to sign and put out a certain type of music or entertainment value, you are lying to yourself. It was a blatant choice. If y'all think every black person in America fucks with one style of music, you are insane. With all the styles and genres of music we created, you think black people only hippity hop they ass around? Get the fuck out of here. That was a perception that they had of us and felt like this was something that would suffice. Why wouldn't the face of rock and roll be black? Why wouldn't the face of blues and all the other shit be black? The face of hip hop, the face of drill music, I was asking my homeboy the other day, I'm like, do we really need to do a restructure? Do we need a restructure in the content we put in the music? If we start there first, do you think there will be a trickle-down effect to the rest of the community? I believe so. Because whatever these influencer hip-hop artists or whoever, whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever they wear, influences the next person. It's not a coincidence that music being oversaturated with the same type of music that's talking about destroying a community is actively destroying the community in real life. It's not a coincidence. We are feeding this shit to people, our people. And the money and material shit is what keeps a lot of niggas silent behind this shit until they've either made enough money off the shit or when it starts knocking on their front door. I don't want to hear no PSAs from niggas that have made a living off of reinforcing stereotypes. I don't want to hear from you. do better? How about you change what you do? How about you change the content? How about you change your approach? How about you change the image that you have been putting forth in front of the motherfuckers that idolize over you? Do something about it. Don't speak to me. Don't post nothing on the internet just for the sake of posting it so that it can make its rounds and so people can think you a good person. Put the action behind it. See, we can talk about the other people too. We can talk about the higher ups and the people that want to see us do bad. We could talk about white people. We could talk about this and that. But we have to remember to talk to our own as well. Because we actively have niggas out there who are against us as well. How are we, people like me, people like you, supposed to want to get some type of progress in our community when we only don't have the regular powers that be against us, but we have our own against us? This is what I mean by black first. If we had a component, or if we had the mindset to be black first, or to think black first, or to stand behind black first, we can get a lot of shit done. You wouldn't see us having to apologize and do 6-step programs and to-do lists to do anything. Somebody shared a Prince video, man, where Prince was talking about the game we play for others, and imagine what it would be like for our own. Let me see if I can find this, man. I want to play this shit real quick. There's a lot of motherfuckers screaming in the background. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I want to make sure I play this before we move on, because I want to talk about this Math Hoffa situation and a couple other things. But oh man, did y'all see that? I want to play that, but I feel like they gonna try to block us if I play that video. See, one thing about the internet is they when you try to put a racist white girl on blast, see, like the white girl complex where they try to save and people feel bad for white girl tears, and because it's a white girl, they'll do extra dumb shit just to like try to prevent you from putting a white girl on blast. But we're not gonna do that, because you know I'm not gonna have YouTube try to steer me wrong or try to put me on a shit list, because they already got me shadow banned. But they're already trying to put me on a shit list, and nah, fuck that. Here's the Prince audio. This is what Prince said at an award ceremony about us as black people in the culture and who runs shit. Listen.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you.
At all.
You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Imagine what it would be like in our own game. Hit the music. For those who heard what he was saying, I mean really heard what he was saying, I know that was a long time ago too. I know for a fact there was a couple niggas in the crowd like, man, what is he talking about, man? What's this nigga talking about? Yeah, that was Prince. See, there was always this, when I was growing up, this stigma about Prince, and everybody always had some shit to say about Prince. One thing that I was glad to learn about Prince, regardless of how great his music was how much he gave a fuck about black people, and how much he stood behind black people, and how much he wasn't going to allow somebody to use his blackness and use what he created to profit off of if it wasn't him first or his family. He understood ownership. He understood the game. He understood what was happening. Imagine what it would be like in our own game. I mentioned this last week. Imagine what it would be like in our own game, our own NBA game, our own NFL game. if we didn't have to look to a Donald Sterling, somebody behind our back who tries to act like, yeah, I love you guys. I can't wait to have you here to do shit for our team, only to say, get your black asses away from my bitch. At least if you heard get your black ass away from my bitch, it would be from another nigga. You can respect that more. Ime Udoka probably would have had to run the fade with his owner, and we would have never had to hear about it. Instead, you let that nigga fuck you? Nope. We're gonna make it seem like he's horrible. We're gonna make it seem like he forced you, he coerced you, and we're not gonna let this happen, Meredith. Whatever the bitch name was, they tried to come up with a fucking excuse as to why her name wasn't being put out in the public. Oh, because you see how the other organizations and the other women of the organization, man, fuck all that. Why you protecting somebody who is just equally to blame as the person you're putting out there to be a monster? I don't know, that's just my perspective, but people don't think that way because society has told them that for some reason women in these situations can't be wrong. But I guess. Anyway. Let me skip up. Matter of fact, yeah, let me skip through this real quick just to get this out of the way because it was in the fucking title. I didn't really give a fuck about it, really, to tell you the truth. But Meg Thee Stallion and Drake, there was an album that came out called Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage. Drake, in the song Circo Loco, said, this bitch lied about getting shot, but she's still a stallion. First of all, clearly it was a play on words. Second of all, whether or not Drake is trying to say Meg Thee Stallion lied or not, man, at this point, how could you blame anybody for having an opinion on this situation as long as this motherfucker, has been going on? How could you blame anybody for having whatever opinion they have about the situation for as long as this situation's been going on, and the fact that this shit wasn't even life-threatening? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But regardless, I know she's a woman, and a man going as far as to shooting a woman for absolutely no reason is some bitch nigga shit. But we do not know if he was the one that pulled the trigger or even shot her in the first place. So let my man get his let him get his bars off, man. He's just the bars, dog. They just some bars. Meg Thee Stallion responded. She said, people attack me, y'all go up for it. I defend myself, now I'm doing too much. Every time, it never ends, and this did not happen until I came out and said I got shot. Y'all don't fuck with me? Okay, cool, fuck it. Bye. I will say that it is a little unfair to the point of, we can't escape the fact that Meg tried to play it cool after being shot. She didn't say nobody after that. It only got to that point after certain people said certain things, and then she wanted to get vocal about it. Okay, cool. Then other things were happening, and she was responding to it. I can't hold that against her. If she at the end of the day, she got shot in her foot by somebody, we don't know who it was, and she's having to deal with that. All right? But Tory is sticking behind the fact that he didn't do it. What do you want people to do besides wait for the facts to come out? People are going to have their opinions. This is social media. They don't give a damn about how you feel. They don't care about your feelings being hurt. They don't care about none of that. They going to step forward and they going to say how the fuck they feel, and they going to put their opinions on the internet like everybody else. That's just how it happens. That is the internet. You can't control that. It's not like I hate when artists go on there and say, y'all do this, y'all do that. Stop looking at what these niggas is saying about you. Megan, stop it. You know by now what they're going to be saying. You know how they're going to be treating you on the internet. Stop looking at what they saying. Leave it alone. Now, let's get to this, man. Math Hoffa, man. I got to speak on this because this was some shit that I have been following for a couple weeks now, man. because I just started really getting into the Math Hoffa, My Expert Opinion podcast. And literally right when I'm getting into what the fuck is going on, we already got pod beef. We already got people beefing amongst each other and having problems with each other. So, you know, as you heard or may not have heard, Math Hoffa got rid of his cameraman by the name of Space Ghost, and Esso and Heineken, two pod mates or co-hosts on the show, they left and started their own show. With all this happening, of course, Mav's relationship with Joe Budden brings in the conversation of everything that happened with the Joe Budden podcast, Rory and Mal, all this shit. So, of course, for content's sake, Math Hoffa had Joe Budden on his platform to talk about everything that went down. Now, why I wanted to talk about this, not just because I wanted to talk about how Math felt. You know, Math said that he got snaked. He felt like it was a plot in the beginning the whole time for them to try to go and get their own show, which if that's how he felt, that's how he felt. The other guys feel like Math wanted all the money to himself, so he chose to do what he chose to do. Regardless of that, we'll never know the real intentions or what really happened as long as two parties have stories out. What I wanted to pinpoint with this shit is I heard Queenzflip talk about this shit. Now, this gave me a different perspective on Queenzflip, which really shouldn't have shocked me because of the type of content he does. He seems like a sleazeball. He seems like that type of guy. But that could be a character that he plays. You never know. Like, people do shit for the internet and they like to perceive themselves as a different way just to build a character on the internet to get the views or to get the bread that they get from it, or whatever the case may be. That's just what happens. But after hearing this story and what he was talking about with dealing with certain people, it had me looking at Queenzflip a little different, because he's doing, and it made me look at these content creators different too, and what they be doing. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but it seems like a certain practice to not pay people for doing a job for you, because you expect them to understand that you're an artist or you're creative and you need to get the shit out there for it to work or to get paid or to get noticed so that everybody else can eat off some shit. In his story or his case, he was doing a bunch of skits. He was having Space Ghost, who was Math Hoffa's camera guy for the My Expert Opinion podcast. That's who Math got introduced through with Queenzflip. Queenzflip brought Space Ghost to Math, and Space Ghost became Math's cameraman. But he was Queenzflip cameraman at first. Queenzflip admitted to not paying them niggas. He didn't pay his employees. And these are people that also lived with him and helped pay rent at the place he was staying at. And one of the excuses he had for not paying them was that he wasn't going to pay them money he made off his skits, even though Space Ghost was the person that was recording he was recording those skits with his camera. He felt like he worked hard on his skits and he was doing all the physical shit, so that means, he didn't have to pay anybody. Which is an asinine way of looking at shit, because if you're a businessman and you have people working for you and you have people doing work for you, actively doing work for you, you should pay those people. So in Queenzflip's situation, he just did he did people wrong. I don't vouch for that. I don't respect it. I don't think that's cool. He did say he tried to make it right, you know what I'm saying, by reaching out and trying to actually pay Space Ghost for the shit that he did, for the work that he did. But in my opinion, it's like, you wait till you get a check. Like, imagine if that check didn't come. Imagine if nobody was paying Queenzflip for posts on the internet or for ads and all the other shit. Would you have tried to go out your way to try to make things right? Would you have gone out your way to try to, I don't, it just makes me look at him different. But here's something that happened during that time. While they were on the pod, Math was explaining the story about what happened between him and Esso and Heineken. And he said that he felt like it was a plot after a argument happened. There was a big argument, big fight that happened outside of the barbershop one night. And when he told Esso to go home, he said the very next day, he said he just felt the energy was off. He felt like after that day, he felt like there was a plot against him. He basically said them niggas tried to Rory and Mal him. So when that happened, I feel like or Mal got word of what happened, and Mal responded to what Mav said. Listen to what Mal had to say.
So some more news in the podcast culture over the weekend.
Yes, we're just a messy bunch.
Yeah,
this whole pod genre.
That's what happens once money gets involved. You know how it happens. You want to know who your friends are? Put money on the table.
Yeah.
So the Math Hoffa podcast has been in the news this weekend. The co-host, producer, whatever you want to call the gentleman, Heineken and Esso, has been announced that they are no longer a part of the podcast. Mm-hmm. After it was reported that Math Hoffa signed a deal with Revolt TV. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that was unfortunate to hear because, you know, we kind of feel like, you know, we crawled so everybody else could walk. We were the example of how not to do business and how things shouldn't go down, right? Mm. So I'm not speaking on the situation because I really don't know what happened over there.
I tried to keep up over the weekend and try to figure out exactly what was going on because I know all sides did a lot of press and talked to a lot of people. From what I saw, one side was suggesting Math signed a $2.7 million deal with Revolt and was trying to get rid of them before he had to pay anyone. I saw one side, the other side, Math saying there is no deal, that never happened. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, Heineken and Esso was on social media and they said that they alleged that Math Hoffa wanted to keep the alleged money from the Revolt deal to himself. I think Esso had responded in one of the comments, just tell them you wanted to keep all the Revolt money to yourself. It's cool. So it's I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what's I don't know what's going on, but I did see an interview that I think he did with Choke No Joke. Mm-hmm. He did a Instagram live, I guess, with him.
Yeah.
And Mav said that Esso and Heineken tried to me and you him.
Yes.
Rory and Mal him.
Yes.
Hey Mav, what you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I was curious. I didn't know what the fuck it meant.
What you mean by wanted to Rory and Mal you? What that mean?
What do you mean by that?
You just turned me into a verb, my nigga. I don't know what that. I don't know what Rory and Mal do. I don't know what that.
Don't verb me.
Yeah, don't turn me into a verb. Verb is already a battle rap. If you want to battle verb,
go battle verb.
You go battle verb. But what you mean by that?
What do you mean
Rory
by that?
And Mal? What you mean? I don't know what you and that other they're talking about behind the scenes. But what you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Because Mal ain't did nothing to nobody. Mal kept it. I kept it solid all the way through. Like so, whatever Rory and Mal him mean. I would love to come talk to you and find out what you meant by that, but I didn't do nothing. It is what it is. I've stated it before. No need to state it again. I'm hoping that's not what happened with you and your fellas over there. But yeah, I don't know what Rory and Mauled him meant, but I mean, if they try to Rory and Maul you, then you in the wrong, bro. you did something wrong in that case.
Hey, that's kind of funny, but. That was their response to that, which I also hope that, you know, of course, if people want to do things for the content, Mav should have Rory and Mal on there. Mav did say that Rory and Mal were scared to go on the My Expert Opinion podcast to answer the hard questions or whatever it was. But to me, it sounds like Mal is accepting that invite and is putting out the olive branch. Hey, you want to talk about why you said this or why you feel this way? We'll come on your show. We'll talk about it. You come over here. We'll talk about it. I hope that is the case, man, because I hear a lot of different sides in this shit. And, you know, even in the Math Hoffa interview with Joe when he was, you know, on My Expert Opinion, Joe was trying to act like he was the most sophisticated out of the two niggas that was sitting in front of him when it was like, we still don't know what's true about your situation, motherfucker. Were you stealing from them niggas or not? Were you mistreating them niggas or not? That we still don't know that. So it's like, I mean, put up whatever image you want, man, but there's always something we never know, and somebody will, there's got to be somebody at fault. It rarely ever ends in both parties being at fault. Somebody had to spark this shit off. But regardless, I hope that these black men with these prominent platforms can continue to succeed without the bullshit. And most importantly, learn how to have camaraderie, learn how to work together, learn how to make money together, learn how to know their place, to know their position. Try to get rid of greed. and pick me syndrome. That's what I hope. Continued success for all of them. Continued success for all of them, man. For all black people out there that's striving to make a way, especially in this space, man. This is not an easy space to thrive in. To a certain extent, you will be controlled to a certain extent, regardless of how high you get out here in the cosmos, how much you progress out here in this space. When the contracts come, that it's not just about what they're gonna pay you and how they love your shit so much so they willing to pay you for it. Please understand that contracts is all about control. It's contract. You cannot spell contract without control. Do you get what I'm saying? GMS fam, the Green Room, man. Today has been a very enlightening show. It's been a very good show. I really hope that all of you guys had a great Monday and also look forward to having a very great week. I really hope y'all are doing well. I need y'all to do me a big favor, by the way. Big favor. Listen, your boy is back to the bars, which means new music is on the horizon. I put out a brand new freestyle. It's on YouTube on my other page, on my GMS Beats page. I put it out. It's there. The link is pinned to the top. You see that? That YouTube link right there, man. I want y'all, first of all, this is what I want y'all to do in that order. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done that. Follow me on my socials. I follow everybody back. Hit the Cash App. If you are feeling generous, this would be a very big way to help support the GMS show. I would much appreciate it. Leave a comment on this video when the live is over, and then hit that link. Hit that link. Don't forget to hit that link. Go listen to that new shit. Leave a comment. Hit the like on that video, on that song, man. Let me know what you think. Like I said, your boy's back to the bars, man. I'm gonna be dropping some music on this channel soon. You know, some shit that won't get me copyright stricken. All original shit. Shout out my guy Jay Harlan in the building. You know what's up, bro. You know what's up, bro. Anytime. Another elite lyricist out here in Minnesota, man. Shout out to him, man. Y'all tap in with Jay. Very dope individual. Like I said, if you know what's good for you, tap that link. Go listen to that new shit. Vibe out. Play it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Hit the like on it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the song, man. And I'm going to see y'all over there. GMS fam, the Green Room. It's been real. We out.